Yeah, Horsepower Hotshot here. How can we help you? Hey, good afternoon, guys. Jeremy here, Horsepower Hotshot. Thought I'd bring a video today a little up close and personal and help explain where I want to take the channel with the content I want to provide in more car-related, all car-related stuff, as that's all I've really known my whole life. I figured I'd do a little introduction to myself and kind of where I am and where I've been and some of my experiences in not only the trucking industry but the car industry, and it'll help explain a little bit of where my content comes from, and as we move forward, you know, where it's all coming from as far as ideas and my access to some of these vehicles and the builds and stuff. I have been a car guy all my life. I grew up with my parents racing cars, both my mom and my dad are big Corvette fans. I also a large Corvette fan myself, and both my parents raced cars. It's just where I got the bug from. So I've never not had some sort of race car in the garage, and we were in at some sort of racetrack throughout the year growing up as a kid, riding my bike around some of the tracks. I'm from upstate New York, and just enjoying that atmosphere, the smell of race gas and cars waking you up in the morning at 7 a.m. and getting ready for the grid. A lot of road racing, mostly drag racing as I got older, but road racing in the beginning. And that's where I got the bug. So I've been driving trucks and trailers as long as I can remember, hauling multiple race cars to multiple racetracks all over the country, traveling with my dad and my brother, and just kind of never fell out of it. Just always wanted something to do with something going fast, sounding loud, and trucking with it. So came down to Florida in the mid 80s, and everything kind of stayed the same. And always racing cars, my dad always had cars. We always were tinkering with them in the garage or building something or taking it apart. It's just how it was. So when I got my learner's permit here in Florida and 15 years old, we couldn't go road racing. SCCA required you to be 18 years old. So we went drag racing. Drag racing said, yeah, 15 years old, you could go drag racing. Put your dad in the passenger seat because you have to have an adult with you. So my dad and I started drag racing. I started in my 1990 Suburban at Miami Hollywood Speedway Park down in Hollywood, Florida here. And that was it. The hook was set. I met some of the lifelong friends I still have now from those first interactions. And I've had quite a bit of success drag racing over the years. Many titles. I got 5 or 6 Wallies, and I've won on a big stage. I've won at the Gator Nationals. I've won at some divisional events, some NHRA events. And I'd like to think that I had some mild success, as the competition is by no means a joke. It's some serious stuff. And I was lucky enough to pull out a few wins and had some real good fun doing it. And locally as well, won some track championships and a lot of laps. In the beginning, 3-4 nights a week, just constant practice for the first 5 or 6 years. And that just carried on into the late 90s when my father and I opened up a speed shop. We had that speed shop from 1999 until recently, 2018, we closed it, and just met some amazing people, and we did some great car builds, built a lot of fast cars. And if you actually look at all the previous videos early in this channel 5-6 years ago, when I was posting the videos not knowing what YouTube was and just messing around, you'll see a bunch of the cars that we built and sold. So moving forward, I could go with, we have a lot of build experience, chassis dynoing, using HP tuners and software, and a lot of experience with that, and building and traveling and racing cars. That's all I've ever known for more than half my life. So getting a truck and a trailer and hauling them out to Texas or going up into upstate New York or going somewhere in the country to race was just what we did. We weren't paid to haul those cars at the time, of course, but that experience came pretty handily. So we've always had trucks, trailers, so hauling the cars is always second nature. It didn't even come as a hard thing for me to even ponder doing. So as a way of supporting my family after we closed the business in 2018, I took to trucking, because for a good 5 or 6 years as a car dealership, I saw Hustle Hunter Dispatch work. I was the client that you would bring the car to me, and it just was a little bit of I felt a little bit of something missing in that higher end exotic type sports car transportation. There wasn't good communication with some of these folks. The equipment wasn't exactly up to par. Damages were happening, so I would start going to pick up my own cars from the auctions. And just so when we decided to close the shop in 2018, I already had everything ready to go. I was already on Central Dispatch. I was already using it. I went and got my own authority, went and got my own DOT, and just literally the next day started generating cash to support my family and figure out the next phase of my life and what we were going to do. So I did that for a good 1.5 to 2 years. I started the YouTube channel back up again, showing some of the trucking with my 3-car stacker we had back in the day. And that brings me to the current situation. So I'm currently employed at a car dealership, Infinite Auto Sales. The nicest group of folks that you could ever imagine. I met them raw from the load board hauling cars for them. And just putting things together, and just came to be where I became a full-time staff member. And so it was just a match made in heaven, and I couldn't be happier here in South Florida. Their office here where I'm in now is maybe 6 minutes from my home, and when they need their cars moved, mainly to the Philadelphia area, I'm the guy. And so my official title is Transportation and Sales Manager. Not really a title guy, but that's what I do. So moving forward with the channel, I want everybody to see all the great stuff that we do. We do a lot of driving of some just amazing vehicles, exotics down to muscle cars and just everything in between. We do a lot of transportation as we're hauling cars up and back and around to different auctions, and to like the Meekum and Barrett Jackson type stuff we're a part of. So that's pretty much it. Moving forward, you're going to start seeing some really cool walk around videos. I'm going to start doing a lot more of what goes on with the auction stuff. We're buying and selling cars, we're hauling our cars, and in between we're filling it with load boards and meeting great people. And so we're going to keep bringing those contents. We're still doing some racing, so I want to start showcasing that. I have just a ton of footage from my rear engine dragsters and my NHRA cars I'm going to start uploading, just to kind of show you what it's like to go on some of those ride-alongs. Out here in Palm Beach, we have the local racetrack, which I'm affiliated with, have been for many years, and start going out there with some in-camera stuff of riding around on the road course with all of the Corvettes and race cars that we have. I just can't wait to bring it to you guys. So thanks for tuning in. I hope to build the channel with some cool and exciting content for you. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, dirty jokes, drop them below.